I'm live. Can you hear me? It says that you can hear me. Here we go. Okay. Oh, all right. I'm live. I have a pan in my hand. There's nothing. I'm going to set it right. Was that too reflective? Maybe we'll just put it off to the side for now with the Sculpey, which is where it needs to be. Hello, anyone who's out there. We are live streaming today, and we are working on our new Zelda Tears of the Kingdom cosplay. I'm super excited. I move this up and over, you get a pretty good view of it. Actually, this is where I'm at. Last time I was streaming, I was working on the corset, which I have finished, and it's even got some lacing in the back and all the grommets. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And I know it's a little like puckery on this rigid form, but on me, it fits really well. So here's the cosplay that I am making, this little like Zelda. And this are the under part of it, the part that you don't see. So the structural pieces, they are nearly done. They're not done yet, but they're pretty close to it. I still have some like final hand stitching to do on the back of the skirt, and I need a hook here. And then I have been going through and like slowly, very, very like tediously hand beading some little like nubbins onto the hemline, which I have the chance to judge at Emerald City Comic Con this year. And the winner had this amazing jacket that had all this structural sewing in it, but they also had the tiniest little beads just hidden everywhere in it. So when you like ran your fingers over it, you would find these little like clusters, and it was so lightweight and so well done. And I felt really inspired by it, in addition to some other stuff that they did. And I wanted to try my hand at it. And you can't see these because they're like, was it 15-0? I don't know enough about beading, so don't come for me about that. But they're the smallest beads you can get, and I dig it. I mean, it's hard to do, so I've just been like doing a little bit every night while I watch Murder, She Wrote, because Angela Lansbury, forever. So today we are working on, hey, good to see your face too. Well, not see your face. Good to see you here. Today we're working on the tabard. I think that's the name of it. That's this front part right here. And I have some ideas and some fabric and some stuff already done, because there was some like digitizing that I needed to do off camera that I've been working on. I got this. So this is a nice peach skin fabric because of the drape and the flow. But for the tabard, I went with a Dupioni. It's not real. It's a polyester Dupioni. It's not a true silk because I'm not that good of a seamstress. I wouldn't do that. But I like it because it's close in color, but it's not matchy. It's matchy-matchy, but it's not a perfect match. You know what I'm saying? And I really like the slub of it. I think it's going to look really good this way, vertically. I think it gives it a really good texture. So I pulled that out because I had that in. And then I have been working on, I'm going to tilt up my ironing board just a little bit. So there's the pattern for the tabard. And you can see there's a lot of pieces cut out. I've been making the pieces out of balsa wood. I digitized the pattern and cut them out on the Glowforge. And then I sanded and I sanded and I sanded. And that's where that's at. But there's still some like little dangly bits that I need to make. Like there's no point in turning this, which is supposed to be like a round drop bead, into like sanding it into a balsa bead. I should just make it out of Sculpey and save myself the headache and the sneezing. Thank you. I know I love the green. That was part of what, like, when I was thinking about what's the next thing I want to do, or really I needed a break from Shredder. That's honestly, I needed like a side quest, and I'll get back to Shredder, but I was like, okay, I think I could do something like this. And I really like the green in it. And I especially like, I didn't go like perfect color matching. I went with something that I think is going to be flattering for my particular ghostly complexion. So I like the dark, the jewel tone of it. I think it's going to turn out nice. I'm not sure about, here's the other fabric. You can't see me, I'm off screen, but I'm still here squeezing through. It's a disaster in my craft room. I've been going at it and I didn't clean it up. So this is that I got for kind of like the overdress. It's like a polyester linen, like lightweight, really fine slub with kind of some like brownish in it. I thought it looked pretty, but also homespun, kind of like walks that line, which is what I imagine Princess Zelda in this like kingdom trapped in time would wear. Something that's maybe not super fancy, but would still be well constructed, well engineered. Oh, the character is, so it's from the newest Zelda game. It's Princess Zelda. It's her newest costume look. There's 26 iterations of her, just like there are 26 iterations of Link. Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. And I kind of love it. I also really love it because I was thinking like, my aim is Rose City Comic Con to have this finished. And that's in September and it's always so hot. And it would be nice to have some kind of like cooler costumes that aren't like full jumpsuit with collars and sleeves. And yeah, so I have plans to, I'm not usually a wig person, but I do want to try doing the wig thing. So there's that. I've got other pieces of this in different stages of construction, but right now the costume is what we're working on. And I'm going to set this off to the side. So, tabard, what do I want to do? Now, I've been thinking about how I want to hang this because there's boning here and here and here. And that makes this a really structurally like strong piece, but still like cloth pulling on it and hanging down with a bunch of beading on it. It's part of why I chose balsa wood, which is crazy light, but it turns out I'm like stupidly allergic to the dust. So I have to be really careful with it. Lesson learned. But I do want this to be like, I want to distribute that weight. So I was thinking about using these. They're holster clips like you would use on a cell phone if you're rocking the 90s business dad look. You clip them right on your belt and it kind of works. It's a little tight, like a little too tight for, I think, the fabric. I'm worried about some snags. And I have a couple different iterations of them. I was just playing with them, but I don't think they're going to work. So I have a feeling I'm going to need to engineer some clips that kind of like sit over the top of this like that. And I think I can just 3D print those pretty easy and it can just like take it on and take it off. I trust that I have the skills to do that. I've also been 3D printing some other things, but I'm ready to like pivot. So I'm going to take these beads off because I would like to make some out of Sculpey today while we're together. And these beads off too because I want to make those out of Sculpey. That's what that pan was for. I'm thinking I'm going to do some sculpture on these, which you can sculpt with Sculpey on wood. And the reason I'm choosing Sculpey is because I have a Featherlight Sculpey. It's really, really lightweight. And so pieces that like I am worried about every gram, every ounce, I'll use it. And you can blast it with a heat gun and that usually cooks it through. So there's that. And then maybe I want to like not lose these. I'm going to put them in this bucket. I'm going to put them in this bucket and that goes over here. Oh my gosh. Do you want to see what else? Like I realized I was allergic to balsa wood after I cut out this entire tray of beads for like the rest of the costume. There are over like 150 pieces that need to get sanded. And it sands so easy. It's so nice. And now I just know when I do it, I'm gonna have to go like head to tail, full contamination suit and respirator. And then I'll never use balsa again. So I'm gonna take all these pieces and put them into here so I don't lose it. all of these have been sanded and cleaned, and I laid them out to make sure I had everything in there and that they were looking normal-ish, like what I wanted them to achieve. Move that right here. Yeah, one more thing not to breathe. Seriously. I have gotten into the habit that whenever I sand out, I just put on like the full respirator, because I know whatever dust is going to get kicked up, eventually I'm going to breathe it and it's going to make me like have an asthma attack. But sometimes the respirator, because it sits on my nose and like presses on my sinuses, I think it can cause a delayed asthma attack, which is not my favorite. But I'm not ready to commit to like the full face shield, like the full encapsulation. Like if you're a fan of Evan and Caitlin, they do that. And I'm not there yet, but I'm getting pretty close. So here's the tabard. Here's my pattern for it. I digitized it and printed it and cut all the pieces out because I wanted to see scale wise that it looked like what I wanted it to. And I'm pretty happy with that. Like, I think it's backed with some black paper so you can see like where the actual cutouts are. I think size wise, that's great. Is that about where? Yeah, that's about the right fit, the right length and everything. So I want to make, I need to take this down. I was waiting for my tabletop to dry because I had done all the gluing, and like, of course, I just got glue everywhere. So before I was streaming, I was like trying to clean the glue up and wiping this off, and still a little damp, but I don't care with muslin, and a little dirty. Please pardon my chaos. I'm so claustrophobic. I have trouble with regular face masks. Yeah, much less completely suiting up. It is uncomfortable, and there's a part of me that's like, well, just don't use materials that you need to do that for. So I try to avoid it. I didn't know the balsa wood thing until it was too late. that was a genuine like, whoops. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. But I also like my lungs. I think I really like prop work. That is my major complaint, though, about prop work, is that you spend a lot of time suiting up to protect yourself against the stuff that you're using. Have you considered curving the tabard a bit to suit your body? Oh, like putting some darts in so it like lays a little bit? Yeah, that's a good idea, because you're right. It did kind of like, it does have a slope to launch it in that direction. Yeah, you're not wrong. I was actually thinking, so there's another piece that goes underneath this. There's kind of like a dress that sits under bust here. It's actually like right across the boobie line. It's where it sits. And I haven't even thought about how to tackle that. That's a really good idea. Should I curve it? I certainly could. I was thinking about too, maybe putting like, I use plastic boning for this, except for when I make these, not a true corset, BT dubs. When I make these bodices, I put steel boning right here. So this is steel boned, and then the rest is like the plastic, like you can sew through it. I was thinking about putting some steel boning through the top part of this to help keep it, from buckling this way. But I could certainly like, yeah, I could, huh? It makes me wonder, / I already know the answer to it. I just don't want to do it. I should pattern the other dress first and then do this on top of it, but I don't want to. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a great idea. Just like a dart here to help it. They sit there and how does she do it? With magic. She wears it with magic, Oh yeah, steel boning would work. I think it would work at least for the top, but that dart, that's a good idea. I mean, I have to think about how I would do that. I mean, I would just put a dart in there. It couldn't even be like, it doesn't even have to be a significant dart, right? It could just be like a 1/4 of an inch. Just to give it a little bit, just a little bit of curve. I like that. I was going to, I was thinking about the construction of the fabric piece that goes under it, like how I want to make it. And I was thinking I was going to flatline it, honestly. So make my Dupioni piece, probably stabilize it with some really lightweight interfacing, and then flatline the back with some kind of lining. I've got a bunch of different colored green linings right here to choose from for my stash. And then doing my it's now bias tape because I didn't cut on the bias, but my like taping the edges hack. I don't often turn my garments inside out anymore. I just end up sealing the edges because, like, honestly, I make a lot of mistakes. I need to be able to like get in to fix it. When you turn it, it's so much worse. Yeah, just a little something to suggest a curve. I think you're right. I think that's a good idea. It definitely complicates the pattern. I already had a muslin piece kind of cut out. That is what I originally started with when I was digitizing this. So let's just, hold on. I think I have some over here. Do I have a little piece of well, that's not going to work. I thought maybe I would have like a little piece of boning that I could stick in there to help it stay. I can use my little ruler. This poor little ruler. It's hanging on. There we go. Hanging on for dear life is what it is. Okay, that gives me a sense of what a rigid top would be like. And then, so I have to turn it towards me. I think I would just a little pitch right there. Maybe just like, yeah, just like that. I mean, I'm lucky. I don't have a lot to fill that space, but I have enough. There is enough lady flesh there. It's an awful word. I regret saying that on the internet. All right. Yeah, just a little bit. That's not a bad idea. That's a great idea, actually. I live to complicate people's lives. It's a good complication. And yeah, because it's going to have even more under there. So it's not a bad idea to create. It's a great idea to create a moment, a place for it to like just curve. Yeah, I feel like I should know this lesson already. I remember when I was making Saber many, many years ago, I tried to do all my pieces flat and they just wouldn't go together. And I learned about darts. It was really early in my sewing. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. Yep. I don't think there's going to be that much mass under the thing, maybe though. What could I put there to like, do I have any batting or not really? I mean, I could just drape the dress, but I think, and then here's the top piece right here. Yeah. Okay, well, that's a great idea. I'm going to do that. That's fantastic. I should totally do that. I wonder if I do like a bunch of like really, really tiny little like whisker pleats, not pleats, but like whisker darts to create kind of like a geometric pattern that creates like a gentler curve. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just like one and done. So then I get the shape, but I also get some of the geometry if I can do it. I can get some of that really nice geometry that will look really intentional with the rest of the design. Okay, muslin. You are about to experience some things. I know better than to do this on the actual like raw work table though. Oops, pins. Because boobies aren't angular. We are not 1990s Laura Croft. They have roundness. Get a couple different rulers out. And so I want them. All right, while I do this super boring measuring thing, I'd love to know, what are people working on today? What's like going on out there? Hopefully some fun stuff. Yeah, the curve will make it more natural. I know. The geometry of the dart placement will keep it true to the let's hope she can accomplish that though. That's the, can I do the thing? It's the real question. Okay, I definitely know that I want this to hold that boning. So let's start there. I need to know what my top is going to look like so that I can start to measure out where I want those darts to be in case I need to add more length to this. Because then I can put that pattern on it and be like, this is what she looks like. Anyone else sewing today or beading or sculpting or arting, painting? We are getting some cooler weather where I'm at. Oh my gosh, I saw some social media stuff about a storm that happened in Nampa in Idaho just a couple days ago, and I was flabbergasted by that. Like it was crazy looking. I hope it's much nicer. We got a little bit of like a windstorm where I'm at, but nothing like, it looked terrifying. All right. There's my seam allowance. And then I would also want to turn it, do one more to wrap to create the boning, which I should also mark. I should be ironing it too. But this muslin is cheap enough that sometimes I can just finger crease it, which I really like. Not a complaint, actually. Oh, the purple pen is dying. Don't die on me, purple pen. There we go. All right. There are the two that I would finger crease. So that's my turn. And then turn again. Although I could save. Do I need that much? Because I could do half of that. Let's mark it some more. Let's keep marking it. Oh, well, totally missed that storm. I'm working on Kimikomi. Is that how you say that? Kimikomi Christmas ornaments. Oh, fun! In Tillamook. Oh, that's a nice place to be. Fun. My mom and I, that's how I got started sewing. She was the one who taught me. She got me my first sewing machine when I was 12, and we made matching vests to learn how to use it, which I didn't keep because I'm an idiot, because I would still wear that. I remember it was like green and beige and made out of quilter's cotton and awesome, like everything right in the world. And I would wear it. I'd be wearing it to death if I still had it. I can almost remember being a teenager and being like, this isn't cool. I don't want this. And had I known, man, I would have kept that thing. She and I did a lot of stuff together. She also was the one who taught me how to use polymer clay, which I adore as a sculpting tool. It's probably the reason I do half the weird things that I do, honestly. Oh no, she's the least crafty person. Oh, I hope her surgery. That's right. I remember you posted about that. I hope you have good news in your future and there's lots of like positive thoughts and feelings headed in your direction. Whew. That is not a minor surgery to recover from either. Pinning that down. Yeah. Yeah. I bet. F cancer. That's what I have to say about that. I hope the recovery too is quick and without any like setbacks. I had I don't know if this is too much medical TMI for the internet, but here you go. I had a hysterectomy in my late 20s. And I was really lucky I had it endoscopically. So like I didn't even have to get cut open, which, was pretty standard procedure. And I still remember the recovery because it was a lot of like, I think there's things I've ever done, just taking my time, holding still, and like getting better. It's also the only time in my life that I was ever able to like, I don't know, watch trash TV because I was just trying to like let my body heal. And I stupidly tried to do too much too fast. So I had setbacks. So here's hoping your mom is, I'm actually sure, way smarter than me, much better ready for this. And then there's only good news moving forward. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Healing without taking anything else. I had codeine the first 2 days and it made me so sick. So I just used Tylenol and ibuprofen from that point forward. But like, this is the only time in my life that on the 4 to 6 hour mark, I was like, next dose, please. Okay, I'm hoping slow and easy. If I may suggest, Murder She Wrote. My partner and I are watching it, like, because you can get all 12 seasons on Amazon right now. It's a pretty decent deal, and we are digging it. It's super cozy and super fun, and Angela is just like chef's kiss. And we just finished watching. So we got BritBox to see what kind of like cozy murder mysteries were there. And we like burned through a bunch of them and watched like The Other Bennett Sister, which was delightful. So that was super, super fun. Yeah, okay. So she's just using Tylenol and Advil too. You can do it. I believe in you. You can do it. Yeah. Not a favorite. I mean, I was happy to have the procedure and really grateful I found a doctor who was willing to do it and then like be with me for the next steps. But I remember it's not easy. You got this. Okay, I think that's a good top. And I think steel boning will fit in that 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. So now I'm gonna mark out she's a baseball fan. Oh my god, good for you. Because I could not I wouldn't be able to sit still for those games. You might be an angel in disguise. Like, baseball is a commitment. It is a long, it's a long thing to, it's a lot of, Marking out 1/8 of an inch darts on this, starting at the 2-inch. What did I just do? Hold on. Pay attention, Christy. Starting at the 3-inch mark, and then a 3/8 inch. Okay, and then a 1, 2, 3/8 inch, and then 1/8 inch dart. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing over here. 3 inch and marking out 1/8 inch darts. Whew, I can do that. I can sew that. There we go. Oh, what do you think of Wednesday? What are your thoughts? I know the other Bennett sister was so good. I just finished watching it because had to take our time. We like when I say we, it was my birthday gift from my partner. And like I wanted to savor it. So episode a week. So I just finished it. Oh, so good. So good. And now I'm ready to watch it again. I don't want to watch it all in one go. Just Do I want these darts to be? I feel like 2 inches is actually too much for this tiny little. I think maybe 1 1/4 or 1 3/4. 1 3/4. Oops. 1 3/4. That one right there. 1 3/4. We'll see. If this doesn't work, it doesn't. It's no skin. No big deal. Nothing lost, nothing gained. 1 3/4. I don't know that I'm that good of a seamstress. I think I am. I think I can do it. I believe in myself. 3/4. Love. Okay. Digging it. I remember, man. I loved the Addams Family when it came out in the 90s. I was there for it. I was ready to watch it. And I still think like Angelica Houston. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, little whisker. See you. Let's get you pinned. Some finicky little work here. Now, if I take this up, let's think about this geometrically. If I take this up a little bit here, am I going to need to adjust the bottom a little bit? Because it'll be a little bit shorter to make it look like it's not curved. Yeah, I bet you I will. But what is this? An 1/8 and an 1/8 quarter. So 3/4 of an inch. So I can curve the bottom hem 3/4 of an inch. I don't know what that arc would be, but I'm sure I can figure it out. Where are my other little tiny pins? Yeah, okay. The darts will short the length of the piece. Perfect. That's what I was just wondering. So I'll need to add, I definitely will need to add a little bit. Little tiny, little itty bitty baby whisker darts. Bitty. Okay. Tiny little, get that pin in. Get this pin in the right way, not backwards like I had it before. We're just gonna, ooh, okay, I'm not angry at that. Yeah, that's cute. Let's do the other side. Not angry at that. This isn't a competition piece or anything, so I don't feel inclined or like that I have to go over the top on anything, but I do want it to be well engineered and like pretty. I like wearing costumes that I'm like, oh, I like this. It's pretty. I want to wear it again. And I've learned that it's worth a little bit of time. It's worth the time up front to make it a garment that's well engineered because you'll wear it again. It's easy to put on, it's easy to transport. There's nothing weird happening, hopefully. Hopefully. It's always the hope. All right. Another little whisker dart out to here. Itty bitty. Should I baste these? Give me a better sense of actual shape since it's not a perfect point here. Ooh, okay, 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 okay. Here they are. Little whiskers. Let's see. Okay. I see that. I like it. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I know it's got a little bit of bubbling in the middle. The person who makes a lot of mistakes and is happy about that, does not really have a problem with it, um, thinks that I should press it because that will give me a better sense of like how this piece is going to smooth out in the middle. But actually, I don't think I need to. I think I can see it. And I know it's because it's cotton. I think that my goal was to get their points at 1 3/4 inches inward. I actually think 1.5 is perfect. I think I can do it shorter. I love making things. I feel, yeah, but are also awesome. Yep. Into something and hating to wear it. I was just watching the Stitchery, and she made a dress for some kind of bridal party, and it was beautifully engineered, beautifully like put together. And then she got to the end of her video and the reflection, and she's like, "Yep, I don't like it." And she's like, "There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't really want to wear it. It's a little bit fussy. It's gonna do what it needs to do." And I felt very seen. I was like, I get you. And she's like, I think she said something about like there's a reason she really likes simpler projects because she just enjoys making them and wearing them. And that's probably why I have really like I have a formula for how I build my costumes. It always starts with a corset. I totally get it. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. I think I'm going to go ahead and mark these out because I think there is merit in having darts right there. And I think they'll be really cute. I almost wonder if I should like kind of pleat them and press them in kind of a pattern. But I don't know. I'm going to think about that. Courses are essential. I agree. And I agree because they help you achieve a silhouette which is fantastic. And they make sure that if you build on top of them, the costumes that you build always fit because you can get it to a silhouette. And also, when you do special effects, like I anchor just about everything I make into some kind of bodice, into some kind of corset. And if I didn't have that, I wouldn't know what I don't know. I don't know. I know some builder bros who do backpacks for their special effects, which works too. I've also done a backpack. I have found though that it pulls on my shoulders really uncomfortably, but I haven't spent the time and energy like super engineering a backpack for special effects. But I do really like that with corsets because because they're holding the structure themselves, that you can do a lot of cool special effects with them without like sacrificing a ton of like back pain. If you do it right, you can still really hurt yourself. You just got to be careful. Okay. So let me draw that out. I only got a yard of the dupioni, the polyester dupioni. So I will probably want to sew a mock-up of this. I don't know. This isn't a yard worth of fabric. I don't I need to. I could even do Dupioni on both sides. Although I was thinking it'd be nice to have kind of like a slippery fabric on the other side. So maybe for the sake of like two fabrics sitting together, I'll stick with a lining fabric. Sometimes I forget what I'm saying. Sometimes I mock up in muslin. Sometimes I mock up in a fabric that is similar to whatever my final fabric is going to be, because it's in my stash and I don't love it anymore. But honestly, a lot of times I do my muslin patterning and then I mock up in the if the fabric is not crazy expensive and that I'm actually going to be building with. That way I can figure it out. I did not have that luxury with the skirt for this, but I did for the corset. So this is Mach 2 for the bodice. All right, there are my whiskers marked out. You usually mock in your lining. Oh, interesting. What kind of fabric are you using for lining? Out of curiosity. I know people have a lot of different opinions about this. Oh, wait, I still need this one. Yeah, I think I'm going to need to, gosh darn it, I think I'm going to need to sew this one as, I'm going to need to sew it. Get a sense of it. What do I want to do? I want to, okay, what do I need? So I definitely need the final front piece in the Dupioni. I definitely need but piping would be cool. I mean, a pipe. Oh, I can beat it. I'll beat it. I need the bias tape that's not actually bias tape to finish the edges. And I need a lining for the back. So this is, enough fabric to do all that. Yeah, this is enough fabric to mock it up. That's a yard. Yeah, I could mock it up. I can do my mock up in the actual fabric. And because if I want the slub to be vertical, which I do, then it's going to take up about this much space. Yeah, I'm fine. If I find it stable, just plain old cotton. Okay. A liner and a stabilizer. Smarts. I like that. Yeah, that is my complaint about like the polyester, like the really thin polyester lining is that it doesn't offer anything. Like, sure, it lines it, but if your fabric isn't super stable on the outside, then you are going to spend a lot of time stabilizing it before you put the lining in. And it frustrates me. I think the last time I did a true lining was with, I don't even know if she's in here. Did I line this? I did line. Nope, I didn't. I just used Catil. I lined my second ever costume, Howl from Howl's Moving Castle. This is lined. And, Toriel, pull out her sleeve. She's lined as well. But this is like a Weta design. So I went for, this isn't even lined. I went for as screen accurate as possible. And I also used the lining for like all the micro piping on every single seam. I hate the feel of polyester on my, it's just more money for one. Yeah, I've gotten a lot pickier about it. Oh God, and polyester at a convention where like everyone is sweating and there's never enough deodorant to go around. It's just the worst. It's nightmare fuel on a good day. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna be brave. If it doesn't work, that's fine. And I know for a fact that I can trim this. Oh, I did all that work marking out those and then realized my piece is too wide. That's fine. That's okay. By how wide? Oh, I'll just trim that off. I'll just trim it down. Okay, we'll do that really quick. We'll trim that. Yeah. We're gonna go for it. Take these out. I need my rotary cutter. Where are you? I put you somewhere. You're over here. While I do that, I can cut out the bias. So raw, I don't have to worry about, I do have to worry about seam allowance. Should I worry about seam allowance? What do I want to do about seam allowance? Here are my thoughts on seam allowance. If I was turning this inside out, I would definitely make sure that I have seam allowance. And I am a lazy seamstress. So my seam allowance is whatever the distance is from the needle to the edge of my presser foot. 3/8 inch is usually what it is. That's as much as I can be bothered with measuring. I can't even look at the tiny little lines on the plate because they're so small. So if I do want to use those, I have to like put down a piece of tape so I can see it because I got real bad eyesight. But with this, I'm not turning it inside out. My plan is to cut it out, flat line it, and then finish the edges. And I'm thinking like not even a true double folded bias tape size. Like this is like a double folded bias tape, not cut on the bias though. So I feel like that's important to say. But it's like 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. So it's 2 inches total. But I think I can be more delicate about it. I think I could do a 1/4 inch. This is 1 inch strips. I'd probably do a little bit more. I'd probably cut like 1 1/8 inch strips because I flub stuff enough and I need just a little bit of wiggle for fray and for like rolling and tucking. So yeah, no seam allowance required for this plan, except for the top where I do need to roll it, and the bottom where I will also, wait, what do I need to do on the bottom? Oh no, I don't have to do anything on the bottom because I'm just going to put some weird little, I guess like little tassels. Ooh, tassels. Okay, I get to make some tassels. That's exciting. So that is fine up there. I do want this. How much do I want? I'm going to mark. I will mark it before I cut it. I do have that much patience in me. Okay, that's folded like that. That's good. That's the top. That's where that's going to be. And I want about 1/4 inch from the, where's a piece? Where's a piece so I can visualize it? Yeah, because I don't want it to go right up to the edge of the tabard. I want there to be like a little space and then the beading and then the tape, the edge tape. Is that what that's called? What is it called? It's not, if it's not bias tape, if you're not cutting it on the bias, but you're still using it for edging, is it just edging tape? That doesn't sound right. I don't think I should have said that on the internet. I think I should have said that one. Yeah, tassels. I don't know what these tassels are. They're like geometric tassels, but I'm not, I won't turn them down. I won't kick them out of bed for eating crackers. Okay. I'm going to be a little bit generous on the 1/4 inch. Mark that, but not super generous, just generous enough. Because this will be the part that I tape over. That's not a seam allowance. Okay. And it's a 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch edge tape. Mark that down. 1/4 inch edge tape. No seam allowance. Jennifer said so I don't have to do it. Holding you to it. And now let's place that. And we'll do a 1/4 inch over here, knowing that these whisker pleats are not the ones that we use for patterning. A little bit generous over here too. I am not using a pen made for fabric, but who cares, on muslin. Okay. Although I learned a really important lesson. So you can heat set a normal pen on fabric. Oh, this isn't going to fail. This is going to totally work. You're going to get credit for the success, not the failure. So I made a pattern for the skirt and I set it on the floor because there's kind of a big open area where I can like look at big things. And in like a 3-minute window where my back was turned, Jans, my big boy, came in, barfed on my pattern, and then left. And so when I turned around to like pick up and use it, I had this awful surprise. So I washed it and all the ink, bled out of it. So I had to mark it all up again. And that's where I learned you can set this. And so I need to make sure I do that. What a little monster he is. I love him so much. He really enjoys pulling my hair. Yeah, this isn't going to fail. This is going to succeed and it's going to be awesome. I'm just going to make a mark. Not these. These. No. That will remind me. Just like, mark that. No, that was the right one. Well, now this X must be the accurate one. All right. There we go. I mark these patterns and I store them. Like I bag them up and I label them and I store them thinking like someday I'll make them again. And I never do, but I can't for the life of me. Like I spend so much time on this. I can't throw them away. And I have used a number of them as bases for other things I've been working on. But most of my patterns they look just like this one is going to look, which is crazy. I need to mark the edge of the tabard too. I shouldn't have moved that so that I know. There it is. Fourth 1/4 inch edge tape. No SA, because every edge is a little bit different. And then down here, so we know that when we take this up, it is going to decrease the length on the sides. So it's gonna curve like this. So I need to curve the bottom. Is that right? Like I need to curve it the opposite direction so that when the edges come up, it all equals out. Will that work? And when I press it, I definitely need to use my my pressing ham so that it curves and holds there, since polyester dupioni is plastic and not silk. That heat will help it hold its shape. I think I am not going to adjust the bottom of this pattern yet. I think I'm going to make my mock-up and then I'm just going to cut it straight. I'm going to cut it even in that moment and not try to like account for it here because I don't think I'll get it right. And I think it would be better to do it in the moment, in the heat of battle. So let's trim our pattern. And let's cut out our fabric and try it. See if it works. Yeah. Okay. Oh, good. Okay. We're on the same page. Yeah. I don't think it's worth it to try to like, I think I may be falling into a place where like I try to in my head over engineer something, and there's actually just a simpler solution of like doing it, which happens a lot. And I know that I can pattern this. I've made tabards before. I've made them not as like smartly too. So I know we can figure this out. Okay, there it is. Does that look like it's not crazy? We have to label it. We have to label tabard pattern. Tabard. Oh, you know what? There's only one B in it. I found that out. I called it a lot. So I like to mark the direction of the grain. And then for this, I would cut one fabric, cut one interfacing, cut one lining. I'm tempted to use cotton lining. That's a really good idea. The limitation is that I think it's going to have frictional issues against the slub underneath it that has a lot of texture. Otherwise, I'd skip the interfacing and do the cotton. That's really smart. I really like that. But I think in this case, I have to do something slippery. Or you know what? We can find out. I'll make it slippery, and if it doesn't work, or if I don't need it, I can make it unslippery. And hold on. If we are flatlining it, I need to make a choice. Do I make 6 darts total, or do I make 12 darts? One on the front piece, one on the back piece, and then slap them together? I think if I was making a corset, if I was making like this, I've made them enough that I could do both separately and put them together, and they are within 1 to 2 millimeters of precision. Like that's where I'm at with corsetry. With this though, I think there's a snowball's chance in hell that I can do that. So we're gonna flatline it, and we're going to do the two together, dart them together, and then we'll put our edging on, and I don't think anyone's going to know the difference. And if it was a competition piece, I might think differently about it, but it's not. Would I though? Like, if this was a competition piece, would I do it differently? Maybe not. Because I think if you do the two, like if you dart and then face them, there's a good chance you're going to get some bulk, unless you're really specific about the direction that you're pressing the darts and you make sure they're opposite one another when they lay flat. Oh, that's not the problem though. The problem is my personal lack of precision. But maybe the second time around, when I'm not just trying to figure this out, like maybe when I inevitably have to do this again, I will have had enough practice and precision to like get it right. Yes, less work. Flatline, then dart. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Great minds. Now you're going to see me do something definitely shouldn't be doing. I'm going to put another cutting mat under here. I should pin my pattern, but I'm not going to do that because who cares? I'm going to just cut it. I'm gonna, ooh, you know what I could do? Two birds, one stone. Pick out which one? I need to pick out a lining that I think is going to work the least. And this spring green, this horrific, It's not horrific. It's actually quite lovely. But this color would not work. How much of this do I have? Oh, lost my fabric. Oh, it's got some snags in it. You know who likes to snag fabric? Danny. She got a real problem when fabric gets folded and put into drawers and is nice and tucked away and organized. She really doesn't like it. Really, really grates on her nerves. So she has to find some way to destroy. If I leave my sock drawer, even just like slightly ajar, slightly, barely, like there's no reasonable, you can't, it's not open. It won't matter. She'll figure out how to open it, and then she'll take out each sock, every single sock. And I'll just come home and my closet will be full of socks on the floor. I mean, not that I have that many socks, but you get what I'm saying. Like everywhere. Sock apocalypse. She just doesn't like it. She just doesn't like things organized in drawers. I am going to put some weights on this. We are pretty great. We are really great. I agree. There we go. Hold that fabric in place. Ugh. Cheap lining. That's okay. That is all right. Sometimes that's what you need. A couple more. I think a couple more weights. 2 birds, 1 stone. I'm pretty sure though, I just need to be careful. I'm pretty sure I have a chip in my rotary tool. So like I'll be rotarying along and it just won't cut apart, and I won't remember to go back over and double check, and it will just pull. That is a Christy problem. Here we go. Okay, lay that out. Boop. Boop. That's it. That's all the weights that I have. So hopefully that will hold it in place. And now I'm like immediately going to move them because I just want to just kind of tap that down a little bit. So it looks like we've got a couple people hanging out, which is awesome. Thanks for coming to the live stream. We are doing some sewing today on my Zelda cosplay. Super excited. This project is bringing me a lot of joy. I'd love to know what you are working on, what anyone else out there is working on. I like to watch videos of cursed crafts from like the 80s and 90s and 70s. Partly because I think they're just really funny, but also because I am pretty sure I have made most of them at some point in my life. And now through like a different lens, like, do you remember making nylon stocking dolls where you like stuff them with the heads and like paint them? Like, they were terrifying. I loved making them. And then I loved making apple head dolls where you like carve faces out of apples and like you let them desiccate. And then I would hide them places for people to find. Super normal. But I did live in a house that had quite a few like fruit trees. So we always had fruits falling, and I could just like pick up the gnarly ones and then carve them. There we go. It's definitely not how you're supposed to do this. So don't or do judge me. We're just cutting it out. My mom has really gotten into like crafts, not cursed crafts, but she has really gotten into Zentangles, which I think is really cool. I tried doing a couple of them, and at this particular moment in my life, I do not have the level of patience necessary to continue with them. But I see the appeal. Those are fun, like for drawing and painting and stuff. What other things? My friend and I, growing up, Jackie is her name, we also used to take old men's shirts and use them to make really ill-fitting dolls clothes, which is super fun. I mean, they weren't meant to be ill-fitting. We just didn't know how to sew and we didn't care. We just had a blast with it. And I once made her a stuffed horse out of the ugliest plaid shirt I think maybe was ever mass market produced. And we both loved it. So. Do not cut fingers. Okay, getting closer. Can put that right there. I'm gonna take this and just kind of shift it over. Maybe shift this one down. Okay. I love those nylon dolls. They're so glamorous. I know, right? Like now I see pictures of them and I'm like, oh God, did I make those? Yeah, I did. I made a lot of those. I also made like yarn animals, where like pom-pom animals out of yarn, where you like meticulously wrap everything and then you cut them and they like spring to life. Just everywhere. They were a part of my identity at some point in time. I can't tell if it's the rotary tool or just a place in the break in the rubber pad. There we go. Okay. So far, so good. Last cut. Ooh. Dink at the table. Gonna just use the scissors for the rest of that. Because no one knows. There we go. The other thing we used to like to do growing up, which I got my nieces some coloring books, is we used to make our own paper dolls. Like we would draw them, just these, like kids drawing humans, monstrous paper dolls, and then we'd make a bunch of outfits for them. And I don't know if anyone remembers this cartoon, but Jackie loved Jem and the Holograms. That one I just assume everyone knows what it is, and we all have loving memories about it. But I loved Lady Lovely Locks. I don't know if anyone knows this one. She was a princess, obviously, princess culture, and she had lovely hair, Lady Lovely Locks, and animals used to live in her hair, and I just thought that was wonderful. Like, yeah, why wouldn't you keep your best friends with you all the time in your hair? And they had like beautiful hair too, so it made her hair more beautiful. So we would make these like nightmare paper dolls and then give them outfits and friends from all our favorite cartoons that we used to watch. And mine always had like awesome, terrifying hair creatures. And I have no regrets. I live with no regrets about that. I don't know if I'm the only one who remembers that cartoon. I loved it. I had the toys. I had the hair clips. It's one of those that got lost in the like archives. That and Rainbow Bright. They were my favorite. I think we should create cosplays of our favorite childhood. Yeah. Oh, were you about this? I made my own dollhouse. Oh, that's cool. Oh man. I used to Oh, dig it. I dig it. That's so neat. I mean, I loved all the all the Barbie things, but I think what I loved most was making stuff for them. It's just such a like joyful experience. I'm gonna turn my little mini iron on. It hasn't been on. I was not a She-Ra girl, but I have since come to like love the reinvention of it. And I haven't seen the movie, the new He-Man movie. I don't know that I will, but I'm ready. I'm ready for a She-Ra one. Like I think she's got her moment. And I did really love the new He-Man Revelation. Whatever like it was. I just thought it was so good. I thought it was so good. Kevin Smith led that, and you can just tell like the love for the franchise that he had for it. Kevin Smith, is that right? Jay and Silent Bob. He was Silent Bob. Anyways, it continues to be something that really speaks to me. You see me making a swatch of this fabric just really quickly because I am not making it for a competition, but in case that changes, or in case I need to like go and color match stuff, I'll keep a swatch of the fabric so that I can share, so that I can source, so that I can display. And it's easier to do it now rather than like down the road. So I'm just using my pinking shears, which best investment I've made in a long time. It's a good pair of pinking shears. Like seriously, if you are getting started in sewing, game changer. Oh, you know what else is? I can't believe it took me this long. A tailor's, what is this? A tailor's, it's not a ham because I have one of those too. It's a tailor, it's a thing for doing the things. It's one of the tailor's blocks that you use. So you like press whatever you're going to press, and the fabric gets really hot and it hurts to hold your fingers on it. But to hold shapes with fabric, you kind of have to like hold the press. And so instead of doing that with my fingers that get burnt, I can use this now. And I just got it. I've bought it for gifts for other people. And I've never had one. And now I do. I'm so happy. It's so good. This little iron doesn't have a ton of heat settings, and usually it's just on max. So I just got to make sure I don't melt my fabric. Work quick. Press that. Yeah. Then we'll flatline it. And we will map out our darts. Yeah, he is a genius. There are a couple of folks in Hollywood that are doing some really interesting things, and I love them for it. Love. I'm gonna heat set some of that color. I really, really appreciate like what they're doing going back, and like the retelling of, it's not a retelling, it's the continuation of the He-Man story, and we get so much resolution for it in Revelation, and it's just like, oh, so good. It was so good. And I love the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that Seth Rogen is leading production on. I think it was such a thoughtful way to like rebrand, reimagine that world, tell the story of these really interesting characters. Super happy when stuff like that happens, when creative people get to like flex their mind muscles on it. Okay. I am going to not put interfacing on this because what's my reason behind it aside from being lazy? I have no reason. You know what I can do though? I was just being lazy. I've got some like the last dregs of a lightweight interfacing. I buy it by the bolt because I use it so like ubiquitously on stuff. So I just keep a bolt of it. Like I keep a bolt of muslin too in my workshop at this point. Just like I have rolls of, like foam. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out what I need from this and apply it. And then that will be this bolt officially finished off. And me not being lazy like I want to. Where did I put my ruler? There you are. Lazy is a perfectly oh, I love my time. I know, right? Like I have had wonderful opportunities to work with friends in their workshops who have like the real deal industrial irons that have like tanks and the whole thing and the big ironing boards, and they're amazing and it's so cool. And I love my tiny one. I don't know what else to say. Like this tiny one that's portable. I think it's because I do so many different things that like having a stationary tool is not always like is super helpful. I need something that's going to be able to like move around. And I can keep this up here on the table. I can move it over in the corner. I can use it 100 different ways. And so it's so versatile for me for the way I work too, because sometimes I'm like here sewing like this, but the last live streams I was doing foam work, and sometimes I spend an entire day. I try not to inside, but sometimes I'll spend an entire day sanding because I need to get some sanding work done, and I don't want to do it in the garage. It's sticky. It's not sticky. It's just hot and uncomfortable. And so this tiny little iron, it really like. Kind of fantastic. Oh, okay. I just need to cut that. And then we can put our pieces on. Wait, did I mark it? Did I not mark it? What's wrong with me? So we've talked about like the cartoons that have had a great revival. Anyone else out there have some suggestions on like what's worth watching again? What's worth going back to? I love good story. Like end end of sentence, end of statement. And I am not picky usually about genre, except I don't like body horror. And I cannot watch anything with animal cruelty or animals that get hurt or animals that even like in a moment have a hard time. So John Wick is like entirely out. I can't even get started with that one. I can't even watch Homeward Bound anymore because I worry so much. I even know the ending of it, and I will go online. I say I make my partner. He's so nice. He's wonderful and very helpful. There's a couple of websites that are like, do the dogs die? Do the animals die.com. And you can look up to make sure that there's no animal anything that happens in it. So I can't watch anything where like animals are having a hard time. And I don't like body horror because I don't like gore. But anything else out there that people are watching? I'm pretty indiscriminate aside from that. Someday I hope to have a stationary ironing table right now. Just up. Yeah. Future goals. I know this one works so good. My mom told me about this little iron, and I am such a jerk. I laughed. I was like, it can't be that good. And so she just bought it for me. It showed up at my door, and I was like, whatever, I'll never use it. And I use it all the time. All the time. But I don't even use the big one anymore. Like I invested in a decently like good size iron. It's too intimidating. This one is really nice. Although I am really curious about the new like Yaya Han Oleo collaboration, because there's a mini iron that comes with that too. So I wouldn't mind like a mini iron that's maybe even a little bit higher end. Okay. That is pieced together interfacing, lightweight interfacing on the polyester Dupioni. I'm just going to go over the front side and make sure. I mean, if I was being real thorough about it, I would press and hold. But this interfacing has pretty good immediate stick, and I do have steam. I am getting some steam out of this little guy. You can hear him. I know. I hate ironing too. If it didn't make such a huge difference in like the quality of your pieces, I would totally be like, nope, not gonna do it. So frustrating. It's so frustrating. All right, I'm gonna cheat. Where is it? I'm gonna do a full cheat. This is, I'm gonna move that over there. This is basting spray, basting adhesive. I've had this can for, I don't know, probably somewhere around like 10 years. It's traveled with me to a lot of different places, and it's just a spray on glue. Like, you just spray it on, and then you take your fabric and you lay it down. That's it. Done. Basted. Because I can't be bothered to actually baste this prototype. And it'll get some wrinkles and it won't last forever, but like for what you need to do in the immediate moment, works great. And then if you screw it up, like I always do, get a little bit wonky, just take it up. I didn't use it for a long time. And then, I don't know, one day I got the bug in me. I was like, I wonder if this will work for, I think it was when I was making the Queenomorph, because the corset is made with like pieces that are flat lined with like 3 or 4 different fabrics. And I was basting them by machine and then I was basting them by hand. And it was just so tedious. It was really joyless. And then I was like, well, maybe I can speed this part of the process up. Maybe I don't need to hand baste these. Maybe I can just, when I iron it, I press it together. And it is hand basted, or it's not hand basted. It's basted. It's in place. All right. I should put a little bit more right there, but we're fine. We've got the front. You can see the interfacing around it. We've got the back. This is one of the reasons I do not like this particular lining is you can see my interfacing seams right here where I'm like piecing my interfacing together. And to me, that's like a full failure on lining. And this is a lot of what like really, really thin, cheap lining does. So while this is not the lining I will be using moving forward, it will at least give me a sense of like the thickness of this, of how that works. I am going to start by, actually, I'm going to do my top fold first. And we said, what was it? 1/4 of an inch. First fold was 1/4 of an inch. So measure that out. Press that in. Measure that out. Don't burn yourself. Measure it out. Pin it down. Measure it out. Now I can press. Oh, and here's where the block comes in. Move the iron and you hold it down. Let's get this one, this side, this edge. Press it down. Blah. Hold it. See? Just stays right in place. Literally, such a simple tool. I think it's maybe like $5-10 on Amazon, and I don't know why I haven't get like splurged on it for years, but so good, and I haven't burnt my fingers yet. Give it time, but like I'm guessing fewer burns in the future. Yeah. Seriously, what didn't break the bank? I was gifting them to people before I got them for myself because I know how I've used them before. I know how well they work. Mine's got a little sewing machine on the front with a couple of hearts and like some measuring stuff that I'll never use, but it's just it's just a wood block. I guess I could have just used like scrap wood from my garage, but this is nice and finished. And it's also like, it's hefty. It's got some weight to it. Look at that. I just pressed that edge down. So nice. And then the next one was 3/8 of an inch. Okay. So I do. Also, I need to like mass purchase these little rulers. They are so stinking helpful. They're everywhere. I keep them at my desk because I do a lot of like 3D designing I very intentionally chose to have a sit down desk to do my like computer work at. So I wouldn't be tempted to take a laptop everywhere and just like endless scroll. Who knew my phone was going to become that? But I'm trying to be better about that too. Anyways, so I have a bunch of stations where I just like do stuff. And my computer desk is one of them where I do a lot of like 3D designing and I need to measure stuff. And I keep one of my little sewing rulers there. And that poor little thing by now is like pretty bent into awkward shapes, but I use it all the time. So press. So much joy. So happy about it. So happy. Press. Oh, best splurge ever. Such a better splurge than at Sephora. I'm never happy with what I get from Sephora, but I am happy with this. Nice. Okay, we've got our rolled top edge. I'm going to pin it. Oh, and you can already see that cheap lining is fraying. Not that we care. It's not one of those things that we're worried about. Okay, I just want to pin it down so it doesn't have anywhere else it can be. I could glue it. I mean, I could just use some hem tape. Double-sided. What, big boy? Hey, Bubba, what you doing? Oh, did you just wake up from my nappy? Come here, big boy. Come here, bud. Hi. 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 You need kissies? Kisses. Whoop. Sorry, bud. I know that scares you. Oh, this is my big guy. This is Jan's. He's a big boy. He does not like to be held. He sheds all the time. He has wonderful, super comfy cat bed up here filled with the softest blankets and toys and pillows, and it's slightly higher than everything else, which is always a requirement, but he refuses to use it and will only sleep on a pile of trash. So to each their own. And he deserves better, but he chooses less. Okay. All right, let's do now we're going to do the hard thing. I'm going to mark out I'm going to move this off here too. I am going to mark out my darts. They're just their like placement. And for this, I am actually going to use I'll use a real like for fabric heat pen. That just comes off with a little bit of steam. Okay. And then flip that over. You know what? I marked it in the wrong spot. I forgot to fold over the top. Do I care? No, I don't think I do. Here's why. I was guesstimating the placement to begin with, And I just need to make sure that I can technically execute this first and how I want to go about doing it. And then I'll worry about the placement. So not a deal breaker. What did we say? We said 1.5 inches. Yeah, we decided 1.5 inches. So we'll mark out our dart line. And I'm just marking my line, not necessarily like square to the edge of my fabric, but just, well, I guess it is square to the edge of the fabric. I mean, does that matter? I think what matters is consistency. Unless you're making like, you're sewing like perfectly geometric shapes. Oh, I thought that was a little bit close. There we go. One of my dart lines is a little off, which is pretty par for the course with me. Okay, those are marked. Not that you can see them a little bit. You can see them. Yeah. All right. Now I am going to try to very carefully fold them. Not this way. I'm going to bring these edges together. Should I have marked them on the other side? Yeah, I should have, huh? All right, let's flip it over and do it again. Oh, I can do it the right way this time. All right, folded there. Great. Yeah. Should have marked it on this side, but I didn't. 2, 3, 2. Are they still called a dart? If they are, well, yeah, I guess they are. Never mind, I didn't answer my own question. I was just wondering if the shape mattered, what we called them, like princess seams are called princess seams because of where they are and also their like shape following the curvature of a bust line. And these are like literally just triangles. No, I guess I was right that first time, right there. And I was wondering if that like makes a difference. But I guess I was thinking about when I sew darts, it doesn't even depend on the direction that I'm sewing them. They're just triangles. I don't know that I've ever sewn a curved dart before. That sounds really unenjoyable. It sounds really hard. You sew the dart to create the curve. I don't mind darts. I like darts. Here we go. Okay, not a lot lost with that. Oh, yeah, because I screwed up. I marked it on the right side because I... Great questions. Are you sure I marked this one? Nope, that's right. I just didn't go far enough on this one. They look a little short. Are they getting progressively shorter? Or was I getting lazy? All right. I would. We do on time. We are at the 2:30 mark, which is totally fine. I'm going to finish up pinning these darts, which will give us a good sense of what they're going to look like. And then probably call it a day for the stream. Okay, come on. Come on, pin. I like these really tiny, very fine, sharp needled pins. I think they're technically quilter's pins, but I don't care. I like them because they go through fabric really easily and they don't often damage fabric. However, every like couple of weeks, I have to go through and just like toss all the pins that I have bent by like my ungentle behavior. And we're getting to a point where I need to go back and like do that because they're getting kind of like weird. They're getting a little weird. All right, this is getting a little chunky. I also try not to, but I do sew with my pins in. Sometimes I sew over my pins. I try not to. I honestly sew without pins more than I do sew with pins. But they tend to bend before any of the machinery does any like bending if they do have a catastrophic moment. Okay. Yeah, I definitely want to press these to get a sense of like how they're going to lay. I want to stitch them. I want to press them. And that way I can get a really like good idea of how that lays on it. I am not angry about the grainage. This is actually pretty light. I wonder if I need anything at all on it. It is surprisingly like robust. Yeah, how you finish your darts is important. Like the ends of them. Maybe I don't need 3. Maybe I just need 2. Like, what if I took out the middle one? I'm not angry about that. It still looks intentional, and I like that they're still small. Well, the dart idea was a great idea. I'm really happy with that. I can see when I actually like get these stitched and pressed, it's going to look really good. And like, it's not like there's a lot there, but there's enough there that I do need to account for it. It's okay. I really, it's like sleeves. Yeah, sometimes I definitely feel like I pick more seams than I sew. I don't know what it is about sleeves. I could not, it's so hard for me to get them right without like going back and checking my work. I feel like I'm in math class again, where you're like, you have to go back and check your answers because probably 60-75% of the time I've inverted them. I've like put them in wrong because sleeves are stupid. Also, the crotch of pants. I always sew that wrong the first time. I've never got it right. Like, I don't know. My brain is just, I don't know, it flips where things are supposed to be. It's not an intuitive like place to sew. And my poor dyslexic brain is trying its very best to like rationalize it. So if I'm tired and I'm sewing and I know I'm coming up to like sewing that part of the pants, I have to just like call it a day. I can't do it. I have to be fresh minded and have like stuff in front of me and pin it and try. This looks good though. And what I like about this is that, so it's hard to see it because the camera is, I could like get a little bit closer when we squeeze by in my chaos. So like in this, there is kind of like, I know it's a figure and it's like about how it moves, but there is kind of this moment where there's a disconnect between the two pieces. or not a disconnect, but there's a delineation between the two pieces, between like the top and then the rest of it. And I was just going to ignore it. Just pretend like it wasn't a thing. Be like, oh, that's animation magic. I can't do that. But this kind of like tackles that because I can do these and I can do the little gems here. And then, yeah, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Okay, I need to stitch it. I'll have to post some pictures about how the stitching goes. I'm not even gonna bother like finishing the edges or anything. But I do think I should spend a little time thinking about whether or not I need interfacing on this. I mean, it is nice that it's like, it does make it firm. I don't know that I need it though. I don't know that I need that structure. Maybe it would be better if it was wobblier, or maybe what I need to do is like, maybe it's Dupioni on both sides. I also have this, I do have in my stock, I do have another polyester Dupioni in a slightly lighter color, which could be fun on the back of it. I think, I don't know, maybe it's ugly. But I also have this like bright green stretch taffeta. Is this stretch taffeta? Let me find out. Yeah, this bright green stretch taffeta, which is wonderful to sew with. This is from Fabric Wholesale Direct. Their stretch taffeta line is like consistently one of the like fabrics I select for projects because it looks so pretty, and structurally it's pretty robust. It's pretty thick, but it's got a nice give and a beautiful sheen, and it's got a little bit like a very fine slub to it. So there's directionality and grain, and that might be enough. Like I might be able to circumvent. I might be able to like totally not interface it and instead just use something more robust on the back. How will I know that's the right move? I don't know. I'm just going to have to try it. Without some sort of stabilization. Yeah, you're right. The tassels, to support the tassels. The curve is nice. I'm worried that it'll affect the design placement. I'm not worried about the design placement. I'm not. You're so nice. You're thinking about so much more. I mean, maybe, but honestly, if the design isn't perfectly spaced like the pattern, that's totally fine. They what I didn't share before is that the reason there are two pieces of balsa that are glued together is because I used the Glowforge to cut threading lines through them. So they're threaded together. They're their own, all these pieces are their own whole thing, separate from this piece. I mean, I was going to tack it down in areas, but ultimately like how it lays is going to be how I thread it all together. So I was thinking of them as two separate kind of like elements that I would find a way to harmonize. And I don't think I think this creates a really subtle curve, which I really like, and a nice shape. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I think it's worth exploring. I know you're right about the tassels. I could do, what could I do? I'll have to think about it. In that, like, what do I want to make them out of? Because they do have a really specific shape. So is that something that I 3D print or like I sculpt or I don't know. So much potential. I'm really excited. I'm really happy with the progress we've made so far. It definitely like is headed in the right direction. And I've answered a lot of questions that I have about the like physical construction of this. So good stuff overall. I'm going to clean up just a little bit. And that's probably, you're out of the running. That's probably it for today. For the live stream. Thanks for hanging out. Hey, I see there's like some other folks out there. Thank you for joining us. And I hope that you had a chance to craft too and do something that brings you joy. Keep an eye on my Instagram for more updates on this, where I'll post like more work in progress photos. And I'm live streaming every other weekend, as long as I don't have like an event that takes up that space. So in 2 weeks, I'll be back Sunday from 1 to 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thanks for hanging out, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much. We'll see you later.